Hi, and welcome to today's tour of MyCellHub. Let's start with a quick introduction. MyCellHub is a software as a service platform used for a large number of biomanufacturing related applications, including electronic batch recording, inventory and equipment management, cleanroom cleaning, and environmental monitoring. It's a cloud-based software with off-the-shelf yet entirely customizable modules. It's fully 21 CFR Part 11 compliant and specifically designed for GMP, boasting traceability features and audit trails, all based on electronic signatures and timestamps. There are three groups of benefits to using MyCellHub: preventing errors, simplifying regulatory compliance, and boosting productivity. The platform consists of two applications working and syncing in real time. The back office app, which I'm about to log into now, helps you manage resources and records, plan and assign workflows, review and approve processes, and generate reports. The companion app, which we'll demo in a few minutes from now, is mostly used in cleanrooms and provides your teams with interactive work instructions while collecting data in the background. Welcome to MyCellHub's back office app. This is a web application which can be accessed directly from your browser. To log in, just type in your username and password. You then get access to the modules you registered for. In this case, this demo will focus on electronic batch recording. At the top of your screen, you can see two tabs. Administration is used for all admin-related tasks, such as accessing users' roles and permissions, getting an overview of warning notifications, or managing your API integrations with other systems, if any. We'll see it in more detail later on. The Records tab is all about management features with work orders, master plans, processes, as well as all your resources like devices, raw materials, samples, and so forth. Work orders are used to manage the entire manufacturing process of a therapy or product. For each batch, this gives you a detailed overview of the production status and a direct access into the audit trail, the list of planned workflows, and any attachments linked to your work. Master plans are used to effortlessly and automatically plan all the processes that will need to be executed in order to manufacture a product and assign those to your team. You may regard this as your specific task list and advanced planning tool, which is linked to your work orders and can get scheduled in just a couple of clicks. Processes here shows all the processes that you created as well as their statuses from planned to executed. You can easily navigate through the list using the search field or the filter button. In the process definition list tab, this shows the entire library of workflow templates and tasks that you have, which you can either schedule through master plans or ad hoc. These are all the processes that basically run across your facility, whether you use them often or sporadically. When a process is planned, the assigned operators will be able to access and execute it from the companion app directly on their tablet. Each data point is then collected in real time, and MyCellHub allows you to track each and every activity live and remotely. Now let's dive into the Records tab with a practical example. In work orders here, we've got our list of batches. When clicking on a work order, we access all the details related to that batch, like the lot number, the type and amount of units to be produced, the patient or customer this is for, the manufacturing deadlines, and so on. Now, please note that all the details and properties you see here are entirely configurable. Moving to the Records subtab, we get an overview of the production status for each process. In this case, we've got 3 processes lined up with a status marked as planned. We also see that these are scheduled for today and which operators are assigned to the job. The Samples subtab shows all the QC samples to be analyzed. We have none so far, but you'll see that these can be generated automatically after executing certain processes. So we already have processes scheduled for today. If that weren't the case though, planning processes can be very easy. All you have to do is go to Master Plan, then click on the product that we want the processes to be scheduled for. Here, you may actually review the different unit operations enclosed and the operators they are assigned to, or directly schedule them by clicking on Schedule Master Plan. It's as easy as filling in the start and end of the execution, then hitting Save. So now that we've got our few processes assigned and scheduled in, Let's move to the companion app to see what the execution looks like from the operator's perspective. MyCellHub's companion app was specifically designed for tablets and is mostly used by operators in clean rooms, giving them access to dedicated interactive work instructions on the processes they're assigned. Logging is as easy as with the back office app. Just fill in the username and password. Once you log in, you only see and have access to the processes that you're personally assigned on this day. And this way, you're not polluted with other people's tasks or non-priority assignments. To execute a process, simply click on it and hit execute. Every critical step is tracked by the platform and therefore requires an electronic signature, especially as this will change the status of the process from planned to in execution. A process basically consists of one or several steps, each one of them showing one or several tasks. You cannot jump to the next task until the current one is completed. Now, before digging further, I really want to stress that all the processes and everything else you see here is 100% customizable and tailor-made to your workflows. So the format in which the instructions are given can be anything, from simple text lines to drop-down menus, checkboxes, tables with pre-filled information, video-based instructions, an image or a map. I mean, possibilities are endless. In this particular case, the operator is asked to fill in the information in a specific format. So using characters here, for example, will not be accepted. Once the data is entered with the right format, you're allowed to submit and move on to the next task. Should you need to provide further information, you may also log a comment which will appear in the execution report. In this second task, the operator is to fill in the results he got from cell counting in a table. MyCellHub also provides users with built-in calculation tools that help save a lot of time, as you will see now. As soon as I enter the viability percentage, you see on the right-hand side that calculations are actually made fully automatically. As an option, you may delete a row or add a new one if needed. Once all the information is filled in, the app has automatically calculated the final results and allows you to move on. Another example of instruction can be a photo proof. In this case, the operator is invited to take a picture of the cell counter display to prove the results added above are correct. Optionally, you may choose this step to be mandatory or not. If not, you can proceed without the picture. The last instruction is a simple text field. Once all tasks have been executed, the app allows you to move on to the next step, or in this case, since there only is one step, to finish the process. As this is a critical step again, the operator is once again asked for their electronic signature. Upon completion, the operator may review the execution report and choose to add comments where needed, or should more information be necessary. The report shows all the tasks that were performed with the exact timestamps of execution and the initials of the executor. It also allows for a second operator to log in, review, comment, and even mark tasks for approval directly on the tablet. You may also store the report if needed. Now let's go back to the back office app to see how the data has updated in real time. Now let's see how the process we've just executed has updated the data in the back office app. I'll go to the work order that the process actually originated from. Now in the records and production processes subtab, we see that the count cell process is now marked as executed and no longer as planned. We also see when it was executed, how long it took the operator to run it, who the assigned operator was, and that the record status is now marked as draft. Now this makes sense because it hasn't yet been approved by a manager. Clicking in the process itself opens up the detail view window. In activities, you see all the audit trail entries dedicated to that process with all the different steps that were taken around this workflow. In the execution tab, we find the full execution report showing all the tasks performed, the exact timestamps of execution, and the initials of the executor. Should there have been a deviation from SOP, a warning triggered, or a comment logged by the operator, that would actually appear here as well. Now, this allows you to review the entire process, and you may then choose to mark tasks for approval or to log a comment if needed. You may then sign the entire record for approval. To do so, just click on the Sign button. This being a critical action, your e-signature is required. You then choose the right function of the signature in the drop-down menu. In this case, we'll choose Approve and hit Save. Going back to the list of production processes, we see that the process we just reviewed is now marked as approved. Another tab that got automatically updated is Samples. While there were no samples before we executed the cell counting process, we now see there are 3 records in the list. These actually are QC cell samples that have been automatically created during the process execution, assigned to a QC person, and that are now due for analysis. You can see which work order and batch they are related to and what the readout was. As these haven't yet been tested, they are marked as not tested, but the status will change as soon as QC analyzes them. Another very interesting tab to show is Samples. Here we've got the whole list of samples in a LIMS-like view along with their readout results. For instance, the sterility readout here is either marked as pass or fail. This is also where you see all the other samples in your facility, which ones of them have been tested or which ones are still pending, and so on. This is good for the QC team to get an overview of the analysis to be performed and an easy way to communicate the result back to the manufacturing team. MyCellHub also helps you manage equipment and devices, as well as inventories and stocks. If the process we executed earlier had involved raw materials or reagents, the built-in inventory would have been updated in real time too. Say we had a stock of 1000 ml of a material and the operator used 50 ml during the process, then the stock level would now be 950 ml. You can manage and track all this in the material tabs. Here you may have as many records as you have materials, each one of them with its own data and specifics. In this example, we see a few essential properties for the materials listed, such as their creation day, who the supplier is, where they are stored in your facility, and whether they're approved yet and therefore can already be used in production processes or not. But remember that you can fully configure the actual properties to be displayed and filled in. The same goes for devices and instruments across your facility. The Equipment tab here shows all the different pieces of equipment used by your team, along with their reference number and key information such as calibration due dates, suppliers, record statuses, and so on. MyCellHub makes it very easy to enforce compliance thanks to active warning notifications, for instance. Say a piece of equipment is due for calibration or not marked as approved yet, then the operator can be either notified or blocked from using it as part of a process. So far, we have explored many key functionalities of MyCellHub, including building operational blueprints, creating work orders for the batches to be produced, executing tasks in a GMP compliant way, or tracking process statuses in real time. But now it is time to touch upon another critical aspect of MyCellHub, which is the reporting function. One of the great advantages of going digital and having all your data centralized in one place is how easy reporting and regulatory compliance turn out to be. Basically, every single data point collected in the platform can be used in reporting and analytics. And this means that you can effortlessly generate very general or super specific reports at the click of a button. As a first example, let's look at the QC test readout data that we've been collecting. In the Reports tab, let's check out Cell Sample Analysis. Here, you may either review existing report, filter them down, or create a new one. And to do so, just click on the Create button. This is as easy as providing a title and then selecting the time frame to be considered for the report. You may also choose the analysis parameter to be considered, here whether it's a cell count readout or an ODR readout, and then hit Save. Now, as with any critical action on the platform, you're requested to sign it off. Once you hit Save, the platform will take a few seconds to scan all the matching data in the system and generate the report automatically. Once the report is created, you can retrieve it on the list and download it as a PDF by clicking on Download Report. The same approach applies to generating batch records, although it gets even easier. Just go to Work Orders, select the batch you want to report for, then go to the Records and Production Processes tab and select all the processes to be included in the report. Then click on Batch Actions, select Create Execution Report. Now you can give the report a name, review or modify the processes to be shown one last time, and click Save. Once you sign off the action, the system will scan the matching data and generate the report automatically, which is now waiting for you in the Reports tab. Before wrapping this up, let's have a quick run through the Administration tab used for all admin-related tasks. Activities here is your platform's audit trail, showing all the activities occurring in your facility. In Users is your list of users. They can have roles that you can not only manage, but configure yourself in a very granular way. Basically, every action on the platform can be subject to its own permission. So a role is a combination of permissions, and you may have as many possible roles as you have operators. Warnings collects and shows the warnings of anything that happens in your facility in one single location. In this example, all we have are due date warnings, where you see that some processes did not get executed before they were due. But you can have warnings of many different kinds, on material expiry dates, for instance, or equipment calibration due dates that are coming up. It's important to note that these types of warnings are all custom made and fully configurable. API integrations allows you to manage the data you share with other systems and their flows. MyCellHub is built on a very modern interface, allowing you to connect to many other platforms such as your ERP system, QMS, or even hardware, provided that they support API integration. We're now reaching the end of this demo. With this, I'd like to thank you very much for watching. Should you have any question or want to schedule a live demo with us, please feel free to book a moment from our website by going to mycellhub.com and clicking on Book a Demo. Thank you and speak soon.